there is so much that is out of the control of the quarterback throughout the course of a game, especially in New York. Anytime we lost, I felt like it was my fault.
What is an NFL quarterback room like?
So 2 years ago, I trained Sam Darnold and Josh Allen and Kyle Allen. That was my draft class.
I think that this league is filled with opportunities, and the guys that stay in the league for a long time are the guys that take advantage of those opportunities.
I'm just a big believer in repetition.
And I'm a big routine guy, and goals never end.
I'm just a big.
And I'm a big routine guy, and goals. Once I stepped on that field today, I was good, man.
All right, everyone, welcome back to episode 16 of The Room. We have an awesome guest today. This is a guy who I wanted to be on for a while. One of me and Jordan's best friends. Jordan's known this guy since 8th or 7th grade. I met him 5 years ago. We live 5 minutes from each other in Dana Point. I work out with this dude every day. He beats me in pig every day in the off season. I beat him in golf every day in the off season. But this is our boy, Sam Darnold. I think we've been waiting to have him on. I think this is the perfect time to have him on. He's back off his injury, fresh off his first start and his first win with the Carolina Panthers of this season, 1-0 on this season. Played a great game. And I think you guys are going to see an awesome side of him that he doesn't really show. Everyone thinks he's just kind of this quiet San Clemente surfer kid, but the dude is cerebral. He's smart. He cares. He's motivated, and he has an awesome story. So I'm super excited for him to share that with everybody today.
Yeah, and I don't know if misunderstood is the right term, because I don't know what people understand him to be, but just unknown. People don't know his personality. He, from day one, since I met him, and I'll probably bring it up in the interview, but he's reminded me of my older brother Carson, personality-wise, where if you just met him or if you just crossed paths with him, you'd go, oh, that guy's pretty quiet, huh? And then if you said that to his friends would be like, quiet? He's not quiet. He's just hilarious. And so, it's just a little bit of who he lets in, and a guy who isn't seeking fame and admiration from millions of people and fans. And so that part gets shut off, but he's just one of the guys, and he's the ultimate homie. And loyal and honest and all these things that you'd want in a friend, all these things you'd want in a buddy, and for damn sure, all the things you'd want in a franchise quarterback. So I'm stoked to have him in with Kyle in the starting seat with Houston. We're going to cut the show a little bit so he can focus in on everything he has to this week. And we're going to jump right into the interview. If you're just joining us, this is the QB Room. We take conversations that happen in a quarterback room and we're bringing it to you. As Kyle said, episode 16 had a lot of bangers so far and a bunch coming up in the hopper as well. But without further ado, let's jump into this interview with our boy Sammy D.
Darnie B.
Finally, here we are. The boys are back together.
Sam Darnold. Here we go. Clap it up for Sam.
The boys, yep.
Thanks for going. Just a quick intro on Sam Darnold. This is the San Clemente, Orange County legend. Grew up in San Clemente High School legend. Doesn't have his name on his high school yet, which is kind of controversial.
Yeah, Brian De La Fuente's up there. You're not up there yet, but I went to Mission San Clemente a couple weeks ago. I noticed that.
I heard if you look really closely, they put the M, Sam Clemente, on the front of the school, but it's like in Sharpie. You know what I mean? Like you can barely see it.
So yeah, it's just like literally.
I feel like I'm a big deal just because of the fact that I have a Sam Darnold high school bobblehead in my office, and
you and Billy's.
Oof, Billy's. Some of the best sandwiches in San Clemente. Billy's.
Wow.
Yeah, Billy's was one of the first ones that bought one from our coach. So awesome. They've had one for a while now.
It's also the only one out there, but we're not going to get to that. Thanks for joining, Sam. We've all known each other for the last 5 years. This is probably one of the closest relationships we've had on the show. We've had Josh on, we've had you on, we've had a lot of guys on that we both know. Some of us know, some of us don't know, but this is probably one of the tightest relationships we've had on. We met back in 2018 during draft training. It was the first time I met you, and I thought you were the superstar, man. I thought you were going to come down all cocky, all cool, all USC LA guy, but
you actually kept asking me, is he cool? Like, how cool is he? Because you asked me how cool Josh was. And I was like, I don't know. I haven't really been around him that many times. I really hung out with him twice.
Yeah.
But you were blowing me up. You kept asking me about like, is he cool? Like, is he cool though? Like you kept asking me like that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he's cool.
Yeah, like how sick is he? Does he surf? He must surf like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm terrible. I don't know how to stand up.
Yeah. So you guys met then. Sam and I, you met you and I met a little before then. I think you were.
Yeah, we met. We met at Bob Bazenko's throwing sessions, I think.
Yeah,
but I didn't even know. Like, I didn't even connect the two. Like when I really met you for the first time at Elite 11, I was like, oh yeah, you were that guy at Coach Bazenko's throwing.
So Coach
session.
Bazenko, for people watching this, so he was a guy who coached my brother when my brother was in middle school, and then he coached me in high school, and then he put these Sunday throwing sessions together for local middle school and high school kids. And I had hit him up because I was playing at the time. I think I was a Bear or a Jaguar or something. And I was like, hey, you got a throwing session? You got some wideouts? He's like, yeah, come this Sunday. So I went Sunday. It was at Capital Valley High School, which was random. It's like the only time I've ever thrown there. And we were laughing because at that time you hadn't done anything yet. You hadn't played on varsity. You were just like one of the kids. And we were laughing because I was like, dude, that redheaded kid looks just like Carson. Because I think you were a freshman. And so we were laughing because he's the only guy who would know what Carson looked like at 14. And you totally did look like him. And then you fast forward, Elite 11. We actually spent a bunch of time in Oregon at Elite 11 because I remember, and this was one of the stories that I told a lot of people during the draft, was that you were, very rarely as a kid go to, there's usually like one kid at the Elite 11 who's uncommitted. You know what I mean? Like pretty much everyone's committed. And you were between what, USC and Duke at the time?
Yeah, I mean, it's just another story of me being cool and different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, another story.
USC and Duke?
Just being uncommitted. Everyone's like committed to these schools, and I'm just like, I don't really know which one yet.
No, I think it's more that you're like super indecisive. So
yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, either or. And so we had talked about that weekend because you ended up, watching Ricky Town throw and seeing that, and then committing to SC, and then the rest is history. So, and we had spent a lot of time together through college and all that stuff. So this is a fun one. We're all Lokes too. You can claim San Clemente all you want, but like you're Dana Point local now. So there's a triangle between where I'm sitting right now in my garage gym and Kyle's house and Sam's house. That's probably like each point is like less than a mile away. So
would you say if you throw Josh's in there, it's like a square, or would it be more rectangular?
I'd say it's more of a diamond than anything.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Jake, I'm gonna drop you some addresses. We can do a little something cool in post production, maybe. Yeah, but it's
or not like houses in post production. That's probably smart.
Yeah, that's actually
like
smart.
A parallelogram.
More
so.
Trapezoid.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We all live 5 minutes from each other. I live close enough to borrow your stand-up paddle boards all the time. So not close.
You always steal.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We were just talking before the show how we really haven't been able to talk. I mean, Sam, we probably call each other like 2 or 3 times a season, maybe like every couple of weeks. Jordan, we talk every week because of this, but like in the off season, like this is the crew plus Josh when he's around, but we haven't got to talk in a while. And this is like the last 2 weeks, or last week really was a pretty big week for all of us. Like Sam coming off the ankle, getting his first start of the year, Jordan having his kid, me getting the first start of the year. How was it, Sam? I mean, that ankle injury was gnarly. I remember getting a text about your ankle injury. I think Brittany, Josh's girlfriend, texted us because you guys were playing Buffalo, and she texted me and goes, "It looks like Kyle's ankle," and I hadn't seen it yet, and I went and watched the video, and it looked awful. How long did it take you to like actually get over that injury?
Dude, so I'm not going to go into details about like what our training staff said, like in terms of time, in terms of how long it would take me to get back. But I ended up having conversations with our guys at Modus, with Drew. Mm-hmm. And he was like, dude, like, I think it's going to be a little longer just because, how, NFL training staffs are. They're, trying to get you back fast and just trying to get you out there so you can get back to playing. And in my position, I was like, they named Baker the guy. Like, I'm in no rush.
Yeah.
I'm in no rush to come back. Like, I want to come back fully healthy, ready to roll. So, yeah, dude, that injury was a bitch. It sucked. And it was probably the worst injury that I've – not like worst in terms of like most gruesome. Like, I broke my foot. I think that was probably the worst thing that happened. But, like, it was just so annoying because you're good. Like, like I was good running straight. I felt fine, like walking around the facility after like 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden it's just like, I try to cut or do something and I'm just like, it is not right. Something's not right. And I felt like that probably for the first like 7 weeks of it. And, Drew said it was going to be about 8 weeks, 9 weeks. And so it was right around that 8-9 week period, probably 9 weeks, where I felt totally confident, which was, obviously a few weeks ago now.
Yeah.
So, I felt confident. I was starting to practice again, obviously taping it up like crazy, spatting, which is, I guess, my new swag, which I'm completely fine with.
Sick.
I like it. I'm here for it.
I didn't see it. I didn't even see you added. That's sick.
He was just blacked out from the knee down. It was a good look. I think he had the green cleats though. It was good.
Contrasted the pale.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I had my green cleats with our green uniforms, Jordan.
It's a greenish hue.
It's one of the many blues that we rock.
Yes.
But no, so I spat now, which is sick. And I've always wanted to spat, and here I am.
Yeah.
In high school? I used to spat myself in high school because I thought it looked so sick.
Yeah, you used to make it look like Jack Purcell's, like you were one of those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Nike sock that you pulled over your cleat, that was like a spat. Because I thought it was...
When I played, there was a company called Spats with a Z, so it was a good company.
Nice.
And you'd wrap it, and it was supposed to help you. And then they had this little like sock you'd pull over it. I would just do just the sock part, so there was like no value to it whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then my coach came in and said, take that shit off. So
yeah, that's money.
Yeah.
When you're talking about
another,
go ahead.
No, just another cool thing that Jordan did.
Guilty.
So obviously coming back last week was huge, but I just think like my coach, like the coaching staff, I think just everything. My dad, we all hear corny stuff from our parents growing up, but like everything happens for a reason. Like I truly believe that now more than ever after going through this and going through the whole off season. And I mean, you guys were there when we were at a throwing session. Then all of a sudden I look at my phone, Coach Rule, I got a missed call from Coach Rule. Like
you can call him Matt now. You can just call him Matt.
Yeah.
You don't have to call him Coach Rule anymore.
No, but like, I get a missed call from him, and then I see on the ticker, like traded for Baker Mayfield. And so like so much shit happened in the off season, and they name him the starter right before Buffalo. Boom, Buffalo. I, tweak my ankle, and, I remember, going, I broke down a little bit in the locker room, after the injury in Buffalo, or not in Buffalo, but against Buffalo at home. I go in the locker room and I'm just kind of sitting there like, no one's around. I'm in the locker room by myself, like, breaking down as much as I would break down, which is just a little tear that came down.
Mm-hmm. An angry dog.
Yeah. And I just push it right back in.
You probably sniffled a little too. You're probably a sniffler with that jawline. I could see you sniffle for sure.
Yeah, my lip was quivering a little bit.
Yeah.
But let's go back a little bit too, because you talk about like all this stuff that's kind of happened in Carolina starting this summer, but even like right before you went to Carolina, I remember, if anyone doesn't know this, Sam is the sauna god. He has the OG sauna at his house. Whenever he wants to hang out, he doesn't ask you to come over and hang out. He said, come over and let's go sauna. Right. And so after your second year with the Jets, they hired Saleh. Everyone came in, you were kind of in an indecisive moment in your career because you didn't know what was going to happen to you. And I just remember coming over to your house for like a couple months, and we would get in the sauna, we'd hang out, we'd talk, whatever. But you could just tell that there was something like off and pent up in you. And then when you get traded to Carolina, was it a trade?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get traded to Carolina. Like I just felt this, like even you said it, you just felt this weight off your shoulders of what was going to happen, and you're excited about this opportunity. Take us through those moments in your head, because like you said, you barely shed a tear, and that's you breaking down. Like in those moments, you hold a lot of stuff in. But what were you thinking during those couple months?
Yeah, it's a great question. Great question, Kyle.
Thanks.
He's a good interviewer, dude. I'm telling you, like when he lacks in looks, he makes up for it in interview questions. But go ahead.
And neck length.
Yeah, no doubt.
And neck length too. It's really good. He's really long neck.
Yeah, that's what Summer saw in you. No, but dude, I mean, yeah, we would have our deep combos in the sauna. It was weird though when you would get out like 10 minutes before me, and I would have to just sit there by myself.
So strong, so mentally strong in the sauna. Sorry.
No, it was awesome, dude. I mean, just that moment of like finally, like I kind of had some clarity for the first time of like what was going to happen. And I knew like what Carolina gave up to get me. And I knew that they were picking up my 5th-year option which was a big deal, or still is a big deal, in terms of cap room.
Yeah.
So they really, they committed to me, and that, it felt good because, I go to New York, like McCagnon drafts me. McCagnon's the GM when they draft me. Coach Todd Bowles is the head coach. And my rookie year, I mean, you know how it goes. Like, you're a rookie, it goes by like in the blink of an eye. And then, you're really just doing your best to survive every week, or at least that's how I felt. I felt like I played pretty well my rookie year, but you're really just, you're swimming and you're trying to like get a grasp of some of these defenses. And thank God I had Josh McCown. We can maybe dive into that later of how important backup quarterbacks are, but like, yeah, just Josh was able to help me so much throughout that year in terms of just keeping me afloat and making me just understand defenses and understand like, hey, like it's okay that you don't understand this. Just play the progression and play through your reads and trust your eyes, all that stuff. So I'll be forever in debt to that guy for how much he helped me my rookie year. But so anyways, so I come in with McCagnon and Bowles. They fire Bowles after my rookie year. Gase comes in. So McCagnon hires Gase as the head coach. That first year goes by. They draft. They have a whole draft class, and then they hired
sign Le'Veon Bell.
They
let McCagnon do all that, then fire McCagnon.
Exactly. So before my second year, McCagnon does the draft, gets Le'Veon, gets all these free agents, and then they fire McCagnon, hire Joe Douglas. Now Joe and Adam, they're supposed to be guys, but you know how it goes. Like it's not really like his guy. And then, after that second year, it was just like, okay, like, we played okay. I think we went like 6-2 the last 8 games. We ended the season 7-9. So like we were playing okay. And like that third year is like the year you're supposed to make a jump. And we did quite the opposite. We did not have a very good year that third year in New York. And so, yeah, that was it. And so Gase got fired and Joe D hires his guy in Saleh. And, I had meetings with, God rest his soul, Greg Knapp and Mike LaFleur, now the OC there. Like I was having meetings with those guys, the new coaching staff in New York. And so I was thinking to myself, like, I could, I'm still thinking like, okay, I'm going to start in New York and run this great, Niners Shanahan system.
Which is perfect for you.
Yeah. And so, and that's exactly what I was thinking was, I'm going to, we're going to run the shit out of the ball. We're going to run a bunch of nakeds. We're going to run a bunch of play actions and only drop back when we need to, which is, I believe, the right way to play football. And especially in the NFL, because it's hard, Kyle, as you know, in that second half. Like, it's hard to just start dropping back and playing ball. I mean, you did a great job, though.
Thanks. You don't have to be. That was a hard game all around to start. But I'm with you. Yeah.
That's kind of how it went in New York. And then to come here to Carolina and get that news and be traded and just, I guess what I'm getting at is like, I felt wanted in Carolina. Like I felt like they wanted me to be the quarterback and be the guy. And that was a really good feeling. And, that's the feeling that every quarterback chases in the NFL is, sign a big contract, be the guy, even as a backup. You want to be able to sign a big contract with a team, big contract in terms of, being a backup and be the guy for the guy. I think that's a backup's dream as well. And it's honestly a great living as well. So just ask Chase Daniel. And it's, that's what you want you want to be able to have a team want you. And that's kind of what I felt in Carolina. And I guess that's kind of why I felt that weight lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah. And I think it goes also back to, it's just, you just want to feel supported. I think playing quarterback in the NFL is one of the most overwhelming, responsible, like you have the weight of $1 billion corporation on your shoulders. Like you need to be able to feel supported and feel like you can play the most confident as possible as you can out there and not think about anything else but making plays and getting shit done.
And this shows up too, like with play callers, right? Like you guys have all played for somebody where the head coach meddled in the offensive coordinator's play calling, right? Like he's sitting here trying to call a game and the head coach chirps in and go, hey, run it. You know what I mean? I just take a shot, right? And so we've all played with somebody where the OC's vented to us about that. Fair. And it's the same thing, right? Like, can I do this? Like, am I running the offense here? Can I do it the way that I've been thinking about all week? This is the only thing I've been thinking about all week is calling plays against this defense. And then you're chiming in last second. And I think as quarterbacks, it's the same thing. I hear college and pro guys vent to me all the time on this. It's just like, support. Yeah, I want to feel wanted. Sure. But you guys are also adults, right? So like, you don't have to feel wanted. What I want to be able to do is go like, can I play the game the way I've been thinking about playing it all week and the way I'm feeling it right now, and not have to like look over to the sideline or go jump on the headset real quick and get second guessed and doubted. And I think like a contract does that. Money does that. Freedom does that. Like making a mistake in a game and then saying, hey, look, we want you to keep pulling that trigger, man. Sometimes it's going to go that way. Like you just have to have that. And I see so many programs where they make the quarterback gun shy based off a lack of all those things you just said.
Yeah. And I was having a conversation too with someone right before this on the phone, like about kind of what I've learned through being out and just sitting back and watching not only on our team, but around the league. Like I've got to see, from a distance, like you see guys like Aaron, like Tom, like Matt Ryan, like guys who are Hall of Fame caliber players struggle. Now, granted, they're at the back end of their career, but they're still great players. They're still super smart. They know where to go with the ball before the ball is even snapped, all those things. And, I see the things that are going on our team with Baker and PJ, and it's like there is so much that is out of the control of the quarterback throughout the course of a game. And like for me to realize that, like I'm going to be honest with you guys, like I just realized that like these last few weeks.
Wow.
Like, and for me, like, especially in New York, I was always, anytime we lost, I felt like it was my fault. And I think as a competitor, like that's important. That's a very important quality to have. Like, I think there needs to be some of that in you, but I felt like it was almost too much. I was feeling that way a little too much at times. I felt like in New York and even last year at times, but no, there are games where you force the ball and you turn it over 2 or 3 times and you're like, damn, like if we didn't have those turnovers, obviously we have a better chance to win. But there's so many other factors that go into winning, and there's so many players playing the game with you. I mean, there's 11 on offense, 11 on defense, however many people play special teams, and so I think to have that perspective, like I remember thinking in the game on Sunday that we played, like there were like 1 or 2 drives where we had 3 and outs, but we were up by 10 points at the time. And it was like 3rd and 4 in our own territory. And we ran like an inside zone play. And I just like ran off the field knowing like, we're good. Like our defense got us. If they don't, we're going to go out there and have a good drive next drive. Like it was a very calm mindset that I had. And I don't know if I would have felt that way if I had that time off and time to like, to be quite honest, like see great players struggle and to see even some of the guys that are in the same QB room as me struggle as well.
Yeah, I think I go back to too. I think you always get told the quarterback controls the temperature of the room, that controls the temperature of the offense. You can make stuff right when it's wrong, right? You can make up for other people's mistakes, and at the end of the day, the quarterback can win the game. Like you always get told these things. And then I've had a similar mindset as you, and it's tough to get out of that mindset. It's tough to like bring yourself back down to earth almost and be like, no, it's not always on you. Like you can't win everything on your own, and that can transfer over to your play. As you said, forcing things. There's been points in my career too, where I feel like, all right, I got to make something happen for my team. Like I got to win this game for my team. And then you force something and you force a turnover or a bad play, you know what I mean? And it just compounds on itself. And I feel like that's what you're saying right now is like you try and put it all on your shoulders. And when that starts happening, it almost just backfires on you because you just do stuff that's out of your character, or out of your technique, or out of the game plan. It's almost just, how do you simplify it enough to just stick to the game plan and stick to what we know?
It's that thing that, I mean, everybody's always said, right? It's like control what you can control, which is that's so easy to say. You know, it's like, that's like saying like, let's just, it's one game at a time. It's like anybody can say that. It's just hard to not.
It's really hard.
It's hard to do it.
It's like when you're in the position of, okay, you've had a couple 3 and outs in a row, it might be 21-0. It might be 14-0 in the first half, and you've had a couple 3-and-outs in a row. All of a sudden, it's 3rd and 12, and you're dropping back, and you're running like, you're running like 2 B lines, a dagger, and like a shallow.
Yeah.
And you're like,
and it's week, and you're 12 yards deep too, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm going to fucking try to squeeze this fucker in there to the in cut, and let's fucking see what happens.
That was my position I was in last game. I just thrown a terrible pick, and they ran it back to the 2, and they scored, and it was 17-0. And I remember our next third down, it was like 3rd and 12. And it was 2-man. And as soon as I got the ball and dropped back, I'm like, I'm going to run this bitch. Like, I'm going to go down. And then I went to like try and juke their safety, and I slipped, and he hit me. And then he walked over me and dragged his nuts on my forehead, and the whole sideline was on me. And I was like, God, let's bring it back down a notch, dude.
Yeah.
Well, while we're on the subject of, kind of your story and the Jets and the adversity and the injury, we do a segment each week, and it's called QB to QB. We have our guest on from the last week ask our guest from the next week a question. First, we started this with Kirk Cousins 2 weeks ago. He asked, "What's your cover 0 answer to Ryan Fitzpatrick?" Ryan.
Oh, I know Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan. You do know Ryan's. Yeah, it's Gotti right here. It's fake Gotti. Yeah, exactly.
Drift to the right, pump the out, and throw the go.
That's exactly what he said.
There you go.
Yeah, and then Ryan asked a question. I think it's kind of perfect for what we've been talking about right now. Ryan's question was, there has to be a time in your career when you lost confidence in yourself. When was that time, and how did you regain your confidence and recenter yourself? Deep question from Harvard boy.
And by the way, Ryan didn't know who the next guest was. So we don't know who our next guest is. You're going to have a question at the end too. So
yeah, he knew it was going to be me, and he was like,
that's the first.
So you lost,
adversity.
So I know you've lost confidence in yourself.
What are you going to do to get it back if you don't have it anymore?
No, dude, I honestly think we kind of just talked about it. I think,
is there one pinpoint moment?
Yeah. What's the, I want to know, like, what's the lowest point so far? You've had some downs here, man, after nothing but ups, right? High school was pretty sick. College was pretty insane, right? Rookie year, bunch of money, high pick, all that. And then like, boom, it's hit you. What is the lowest point? What made you lose the confidence, and how'd you get it back?
Shoot, 2020 was a tough year. That was the year that like people were starting to say, "Oh, let's tank for Trevor in New York." This is my last year in New York, and we haven't won a game, and it's like week 12 or 13 or whatever. And people are starting to say that, get Sam out of New York. Like that was definitely the lowest of the lows that I could have gotten. And then, this is kind of like a 4-week window. Like we play that Thursday night game against Denver, and I have a grade 3 AC separation.
Going that game too. That's the game you ran the 60-yard touchdown, right?
Yeah, that's the game that I fake slid before Kenny fake slid 2 years after.
Nice try, Kenny.
And got all the credit. Not mad about it. Don't remember that at all. Yeah. But no, so that game happens, and I shoot up my shoulder for like 3 games in a row. And every Monday I'm just dying. Literally dying, like can barely sleep, like taking drugs. I'm not going to say which ones, but to fall asleep at night and, to even practice, like, because as a quarterback, that's like the one position you got to practice. And unless you're like Brady and some of these other guys, but no. And so I just get over that. And I remember having a conversation in a production meeting with Brian Greasy, of all people. He's like, dude, don't stick a needle in your shoulder. And he's like, don't let them do that. It's never going to work out. Like, you just like let your shoulder heal. Mm-hmm. And so I did that. I sat out a few weeks, and I think me sitting out those weeks, that was probably the low point of my career so far. Me sitting out and not having won a game all year. I think this was like week 11. Week 12, and then I come back, play the last few games. We win 2 of them, and I think me coming back, we lose a couple after I come back, and then we played in LA. This was, I think, Goff's last year.
I remember that, yeah.
In LA, this is when they're rolling. They got the new uniforms, they got the studs, all that, and yeah, we went out there. Our defense played really, really well, but we scored points. I mean, we were driving it up and down the field. We had a really good game plan, and they weren't ready for it. And they weren't, I don't think, taking us very seriously at all. And, we ended up winning the game. I remember last play of the game before we got in victory formation, we needed to get the first down. We knew they were going to play man on third down. It was like 3rd and 4 or 5. And we ran this concept where we knew they're going to have trouble running with like sweep motions. And we were just going to run stick out of a sweep motion or out of a counter sweep motion. And so we run it. Boom, he comes back. They had seen it. I mean, we probably ran it like, I think once or twice in the game before that, or in the same game. And so the guy kind of just like stays there and just plays it off. And so they cover it really well. Frank Gore slips between the center and the guard and just kind of like sits right there, like 2 yards in front of the sticks. And I just, boom. And like Aaron Donald's like right in my face. And I just, boom, like dip it, like just dump it to him real quick. And he just, boom, right in his stomach, and he backpedals like 3 yards.
He didn't roll? He didn't hit the ground and roll?
He did not roll. This is before I made that popular.
Yeah. You did that too. Yeah, you made the barrel roll popular too. That's crazy.
Yeah. He didn't know you could do that. Yeah. I bet you Kenny Pickett's going to have like a really sick like roll in the next couple of weeks. Everyone's going to be like, oh my God, that's genius.
Yeah, he's going to do it from like 10 yards outside the end zone.
Yeah.
No, but that, like, being able to come back from that time, like not winning a game, to going to LA, beating the Rams, and then a couple weeks later the week after, I think, beating Cleveland at home. Baker was rolling with those guys like Jarvis and Odell. A couple of them got COVID, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But I remember Jarvis was playing, so he had that.
Man. Odell didn't do anything anyways.
Right. And Myles Garrett was playing, so yeah. And to be able to beat those 2 really good teams, 2 playoff teams, like that's kind of when I got my confidence, and I was just like, all right, dude, like, fuck it, like this whole year was, it sucked. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, like, I'm still a really good quarterback and I belong in this league. I deserve, or not deserve, but I belong. I think that was kind of the biggest thing that could have happened for me after starting a year like that.
Yeah. Well, you think about, you said you lost like 11 or 12 games in a row. You think about, well, I mean, we're in a similar spot right now. We've lost a ton of games this year. You think about all the work you put in every single week, right? Like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, leading up to the game, all the film you watched, all the game plans you install, all these things you think are going to be great on Sunday. And then to just consistently, like week after week, just have them not work for whatever reason, right? It could be you, it could be coaches, whatever, just have them not work. And then you got to watch the film on Monday and come back Tuesday and just watch it and start game planning for another team. And when you continue to lose like that over and over again, especially when you're the guy that's supposed to be under center and making it happen and making it win, getting wins for the franchise, it's so hard to not be like, do I belong? Like, am I supposed to be here? Like, am I good enough? Like, is it me? And especially with the mindset you had talking about then, right? You're thinking, it's all on me. I got to make it work. Like, so I'm sure, like, when you say those 2 wins, especially against playoff teams, you're like, oh yeah, I'm the fucking man. Like, I belong here. Like, I totally relate to that. Like, that makes complete sense.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I think Tua said something very similar. Like, I think after this past year that he was contemplating, like, do I belong? I think I saw an interview, and then like Mike McDaniel came along and was just like, he like, I guess showed him like a highlight tape of like a bunch of plays that he played really well. And he was like, dude, you belong in this league. Like, we believe in you, like blah, 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 and I think it's important. I think it's not important. I think it's you need it as a quarterback. Especially as a starter, you need coaches and front office to believe in you. Yeah. And because if they don't, in the back of their head, they're not gonna build the team around you. They're gonna build for someone to come in and replace you. Mm-hmm. And that's ultimately that's when you get the most toxic organizations in the league is when people don't fully believe that this is our guy for the future, and they just try to build and they continue to build for the future. They don't see what's right in front of them. And I think it's important to have people that believe in you as a starting quarterback. And if you don't, then it's a fucking tough place to be in the NFL.
All right. So that was Fitzy's question. We're going to throw it to you. We don't know who our guest is next week, but what is a question you have for whoever our next guest is?
Yeah, I was thinking about this. So there's been a lot of cover zero in the end. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice, dude.
I don't know. Do I have time to think about this, or can I have to think of something on?
Just thinking on the spot. What is something that young you would have asked Josh McCown?
Where do I go eat?
How do I get my hair exactly like yours?
Yeah. What time's the 8 o'clock meeting start tomorrow?
What is the most important thing that you get done in your routine on game day? Whatever it is, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, if you guys interview high school guys.
We don't, but yeah.
What is the most important part of your routine in terms of getting ready for a game on game day?
I like it.
What's yours?
It's good.
Having your ice cream on Saturday night before the game? You got to get your milkshake in.
No, that's not game day.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Milkshake and chicken, please.
No, probably listening to 15th and the First by Gucci Mane.
Okay, sweet.
Walk a Flame.
Nice. It's not something that
I got to check that off the list. I've been listening to that since high school. So
that's great.
That's awesome.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit. Let's talk about your basketball career. I think I was telling Jordan this before. I think that I've played you in Pig like 1,000 times, I'd probably say, at Stance. I have won like 7, maybe.
You know what? You've been getting better.
I've been getting better, but that's technically not basketball. I'm just good.
Kyle's been getting better at a lot of stuff in the off seasons. His golf game's gone through the roof. He's getting better at shooting. I don't know how you are on the Airdyne bike. I'm sure you've gotten better at that too. But
you know what it's going to be this year, though? It's pickleball this year.
Pickleball. Yeah, we got a lot of pickleball. And by the way, the gate at Monarch, by the way, is coming together real nice, Sam. And that pickleball court's going to be silly.
You averaged 14 points a game in high school, which, to be honest, I thought it was going to be better than that.
I thought it'd be higher, yeah.
In the 20s or something, but 14 points per game, 9 rebounds per game. You are still a solid basketball player. I don't know how you are in actual basketball, but you can shoot the lights out of the gym.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to play a little game. You're going to be a one-on-one basketball against these different guys in the NFL. You're going to tell us who do you think you can beat and why. You ready?
Okay.
All right. First off, we're going to start you with the easy one, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I know Joe B's got a lot of games.
He's going to watch this too.
I know he's going to watch this. And I think I could take Joe B.
1-on-1 to 11. You can take him?
Yeah, I think I could take Joe B. I think it'd be close.
What's your strategy?
I know he's a good basketball player. I mean, I saw him. I got to see him before the game. He's looking pretty thin.
He is.
Yeah, but that's by design. He's like playing at like 203 right now.
And my specialty was...
He's a little longer than you, too. He probably got like an inch on you.
I think I could take Joe B. Just, I don't know. I feel like his post game, I think he would struggle guarding me in the post. But, I know he's going to have something to say about it. But...
All right.
So you're back.
What about, speaking of post game, where you probably don't have the upper hand, how about Cam Newton?
And not only is this one-on-one in Stance, it's also one-on-ones mini basketball in the quarterback room.
So I beat Cam in horse several times in our locker room. We had a hoop that we had put up. Granted, it wasn't 10 feet.
Oh, was it not the mini hoop? It was the big hoop?
But I won. It was the big hoop. But it was at like 8 feet.
He strikes me as a guy who's got like a not very fluid jumper. He probably pushes it.
No, he doesn't.
He's too buff.
He'd probably be pretty tough to handle in the post, I would assume.
Yeah. All right, so you or Cam?
Me.
Okay. What about Josh?
Me.
Yeah, for sure.
You can beat Josh. What about Drew Lock?
Ooh. Okay, this is where I struggle because Drew got offers, like big time offers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be very modest here, but honestly very realistic and go Drew there.
All right. What about Deshaun? You hooped with Deshaun before.
I think I could take Deshaun.
You could take Deshaun?
Yeah.
All right. What about, and I've never hooped with him before, only seen highlights. What about Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, I heard he's got game, but I think I'll be able to take him.
You can't shoot corner threes the whole time either. Like, you got to get in the paint.
I don't think. I mean, Pat's, he's not as tall as me, and I feel like I'd be able to just back him down and shoot fadeaways, do the typical hezzy to the left, over the right shoulder fadeaway.
Yeah. That's nice.
So
I like it. All right. So of our list, Drew's the only guy where you're like, nah, probably not.
Yeah, I know Drew, and I know he's a hooper.
What about Myles Garrett?
I mean, that guy would just back me down and dunk over me the entire game.
He used to play basketball at the Rec at A&M, and he used to just yam on people, like in people's lives.
Yeah, I've seen all his highlights. Yeah. I'm not even going to entertain that one.
All right. Let's respect. You do have one of the best basketball games I've ever seen, and it's just
consistent, boring, vanilla.
It's just
wet from all over the place.
It's just I'm just a student of the game. Like
first one in,
I'm just a gym rat. Yep. First one in, last one out kind of guy. Yeah. Just loves the game.
I will say though, the one time that we did play sevens with Klay Thompson, I beat you, and I almost beat Klay.
Yeah, but we all almost beat Klay, and Klay was. That was early, bro. That was like he was just coming off like an ACL or something that time.
Klay didn't even warm up.
No. When I made like 2 in a row on him, he like actually locked in. He was like, "Oh fuck, like I need to beat this."
Yeah, he's like, I'm not about to give these kids a story where they can go tell their friends they beat me. No, sir.
On a podcast, yeah.
I want to hop into quarterback play with you because I know out of all the quarterbacks that like we hang out with and talk with, I think you're one of the top guys that like really is like no joke, actually like a student of the game. You love watching people, you love watching other people's games. People probably don't know this, but we used to a couple years ago when we were at the what beach is that where me and Josh were renting that house out. Lost Winds. Yeah. So we were
not even a low.
Yeah, sorry, not low. We would have wine Wednesdays where everyone would bring over a bottle of wine and we would throw film on, like literally in the off season from whatever 8:30 until midnight, and we would just chug wine and watch film. When you were thinking about quarterbacks in the league today, who are some of your favorite guys to watch, and where do you see the league going? We ask a lot of guys this question, where they see the league going with quarterbacks. Where do you see it going?
Yeah. By the way, we need to bring that back.
I was just thinking that way you said that. Yeah, that was fun, and you got the spot for it too, or in my office, either way.
Yeah. No. Way to invite yourself over, dude.
Well, you already invite myself. I created the concept of this. What are you talking about?
He's already talking about your gate to your neighborhood. Like he's driving by it every day.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're in my garage right now. Where are my paddleboards?
Is it cool that I hung that in your garage? It's cool. Yeah. There was like a number 18 jersey up there. I knew who it was.
I would love a signed 5 UTEP jersey. That'd be like I'm good on jerseys if I can get one of those.
That's the only one, bro. I'm not a big keeping past paraphernalia guy, but there you go. It's in my garage in my gym. But go ahead, answer the question. Enough about me.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm getting ready for a game, if the team has played Tennessee, especially with the way we're running the ball, like I really like watching the Broncos against Tennessee. I like watching Tannehill every now and then. I think we play similarly, but I think most importantly, I think teams play us very similarly in terms of like kind of sneaky athlete, can run around a little bit, but also our run game is pretty similar right now. So that was a really good one for me to watch just off the top of my head. They played us very similarly to how they played Tennessee in terms of Denver. But I mean, all-time guys, I mean, it's so fun to watch Aaron. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is unreal to watch because he just does things that, you necessarily can't do. And I think it's kind of like, as a little kid watching superhero movies, you know what I mean? Like you dream of being able to fly one day, and you dream of being able to do some of these things that Aaron can do on a football field. And, I like to think that I can do most of them, but some of these throws that he makes are just unbelievable. I think the way that Tom can be able to, recognize pre-snap and just understand what's going on. I mean, there's nothing like it, and to be honest, I think because I watched a Jacksonville game of them playing Denver. I think Trevor is playing at a really high level right now.
I agree.
I think there are some times where he can force the ball a little bit, which is, I mean, all of us do that, but especially down there in the red zone. And like he's had a couple like first or second down turnovers in the red zone where it's like, that's a big no-no. But I mean, other than that, I feel like he's been playing really, really good football. I mean, the list goes on and on, but those are some of the guys that kind of come to mind right now.
Trevor's been playing awesome. I think the one thing with Trevor that I've seen is he'll just like early in the season, he was just missing throws for like whatever reason. He was kind of overthrowing guys or overdoing it, maybe trying to be too careful, but like he looks so comfortable back there now, and he
does, man. He's letting it rip.
He's letting it rip, like throwing on time. They're running some awesome concepts. They're getting guys open for him, but he's also like throwing in tight windows. And when you watch him play, it looks like he's diagnosing coverage really well. I think you can tell, like when you're watching film on guys, like if they understand what coverage it is and where their eyes go and the safeties roll and the nickel blitz, you know what I'm saying? Like when they see the indicators, their eyes go straight to where their number one read should be. I think he's doing a really good job of that.
I remember a few times I'll talk about my career. My freshman year in college, I played for a coach. We won one game that year, and I was a freshman. I had only played my senior year in high school. I'd never really played before. And we ran freeze option a lot, fake it to the fullback, have an option to end. And the offense didn't make sense. It didn't fit me. We weren't good. It was just such a dumpster and the players were quitting and all. It was such a dumpster fire. And then my second year, my redshirt sophomore year, Mike Price comes in. We throw it out every play. We go nuts. We win 10 games. And I remember talking to my brother and being like, I feel like this is my freshman year. Like, I feel like you can scrap my entire last year because I didn't learn anything. None of it was relevant. And it was so foreign to what we actually do. I feel like this is my freshman year. That's how I feel like, because I'm watching every snap of Trevor right now. And I feel like this is his rookie year. Just scrap last year. The amount of dumpster fire, like think about all the shit we heard with Urban Meyer and everything that's coming out. And you guys know how it is. You're only hearing a small percentage of what's actually happening. And like the meetings and the two coaches that got in the fight. I'm making things up right now, but like the comment he made to this person that then became a whole thing that whole week in the locker room, like this is his rookie year. You know what I mean? And so it's like, if you could ever scrap an entire year for somebody and everyone would go, yeah, I agree. You know, a lot of rookies have struggled the rookie year. I mean, Peyton Manning led the NFL in interceptions his rookie year, but this one, it's like, I feel like this is Trevor's real rookie year. And the first two games are different than the third through the fifth game, different than the 7th through the 12th game. And I agree, man. He just looks like his eyes are in the right spot and he's ripping it. Yeah. He's missing a couple because you're going too earlier in your career, but he's on it. And we all know him, but so I'm stoked for him. Yeah. He's just a good dude.
I agree, but I disagree also because, you know, I think everyone gets dealt bad hands every once in a while, and you know, he could deal with it.
That's the worst hand I've ever seen, though. It's the worst hand I've ever seen.
No doubt, but I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, he'd be fine.
Oh, he's
just a little
he is fun.
Hair. He's just a little jealous of the hair.
Also, like Kyle, the way you talk about him seeing coverages, like you can tell that he's being coached really well too, which is awesome to see.
It's huge. Early in my career, when I had Norv and I had Scott Turner, I think that's what they did best. They didn't overcoach, you know, technique or whatever. They spent so much time on like teaching you how to diagnose the coverage. And then when you see what coverage, here's your read, right? Simplify it. Like if we saw cover 2, you're getting back to the high-low on the dig down to your burst, right? If you saw quarters, you're going to play the comeback. And it's all about how you get your quarterback during the week, especially young guys, to know what those indicators are. Like what's the indicator this week that's going to tell us if it's going to be cover 2 or if they're running 3 week or if they're going to roll from quarters to 3 week or just all those different little things. And that's when you start playing fast, in my opinion. Like once you know, like, all right, this game, it's all about the weak safety, right? Like I remember when we used to play Atlanta when I was in Carolina, they would just run that old 3 week or they'd get into cover 2. And all I had to look at was that weak safety, right? All my play actions, I'd take the ball and right before I turned my head, I'm peeking at that free safety. Oh, it's cover 2. Here I'm going. And I'm sure you feel that way too when you're playing at your best. It's where are my indicators and what do they mean right when I see them?
Yeah. I mean, that's what you look at when you're watching tape, right? Mm-hmm. Is like, all right, who's my fish? Like, who am I looking at to give the coverage away? Yeah. I think that's perfectly said.
I do this a lot when you're watching like teams. Is there any, like when you're watching a defense, is there any teams that you like see in the last like 5 games? You're like, nah, I'm not going to watch that team. That's not going to make sense to me. Like different offenses.
Oh yeah. Like in the breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny. I thought when I mentioned the Tennessee thing, I watched Tennessee. I ended up watching them that game late in the week. It was like Thursday or Friday. Because again, like I was sick as a dog on Wednesday and I ended up watching it. Huh?
Did you have COVID?
How do you spell that? I've never heard of that.
China?
What is that?
Did you have the China virus?
No, I did not. I had this weird chest, throat, inflammation type deal going on. It was weird.
I've had it for a week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but no. So I had thought that it was when Tannehill was still hurt and they were still playing Malik, and so I was like, oh, I'm not going to watch that game. Like, when teams play Lamar, I'm like, I'm not watching that game.
Yeah, or like Justin Fields now in Chicago, now that they're just calling all these Q sweeps for him and rollouts, and he's just scrambling all over the place. So I'm like,
yeah, like they're gonna run a completely different defense.
Or like when it's in the cut up of like your third downs or your red zone cut up, you're like, thanks, no thanks. It's just funny. How bad? You want to do it?
Go ahead. Yeah, I'll go ahead. One thing we haven't talked about since the season started, as big off season, Lincoln Riley rolls into your old hood, Coach Helton out, Caleb Williams comes in, a whole herd of new dudes stamping into that huddle. You've been hurt, so have you been watching SC at all? I know normally when you're starting, it's hard to watch anything, let alone a West Coast team living on the East Coast, but have you been watching SC at all?
Oh yeah, been watching the boys out west, just crushing it. They had that one loss, one little hiccup. Fight on, baby.
Yeah.
The one little hiccup in Utah, but they get to avenge that loss this Friday in Vegas. I was actually thinking about maybe going, which would have been crazy.
You should go. Why not?
For the bye week.
I know, you should go. Why wouldn't you go?
You know what would have been cool is me and Baker were thinking about going together.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Because of his connection with Lincoln.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even think about that. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, it would have been really fun, but I don't want to fly anywhere. So, but yeah, man, stoked for the boys. I mean, they're playing out of their minds. Caleb, I mean, I feel like it's just kind of snuck up on people like this last week or two. Like, I don't know where people have been. Like, he's been playing at such a high level this entire year. Even watching him at Oklahoma, I was like, dude, this guy's going to be special. Like, not knowing he was going to be the SC quarterback, I was like, dude, this kid's going to be really, really good. Like, just the way that he moves, like how fluid he is, how strong he looks, like just the way that he throws, like he has a cannon for an arm. And it looks like he sees the field really well. I mean, I'm not watching any tape, but it seems like he makes pretty quick decisions and he's very smart too. Like, I notice him getting down a ton and never really takes any big hits unless he really has to. So he seems like a very heady, very smart player. So yeah, man, I'm excited for the boys. If they can beat this Utah team, and I always say I think it's super, super hard to beat a team twice in 1 year, especially in college. If we can beat this Utah team, I think, we got a chance at beating some of these teams in the playoff. And, if you get on a roll and you get a matchup that you like in the playoff, you never know.
So you think they win? They're in the playoffs right now.
Have to be.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, because they're already at 4. So like if they win, they're solidified. You never know what's going to happen in the SEC championship or the Big 12 championship.
What do you think about Caleb painting his nails?
I mean, I listened to I was skeptical at first, for sure. I'm not going to lie, but I listened to like one of his interviews when he talked about it. And to be honest, I completely forgot what he said, but it sounded like he does it for a good reason. So.
I met him just like a lot of these guys, Elite 11, and how about this one, dude? So he was in like DC, grew up in like the DMV, the DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Come on now.
Area, DMV.
That'd be a tough place to grow up. Probably so crowded all the time. The
DMV, long lines. It's funny. I go to the DMV in San Clemente. So when you set this picture in the same one you probably got your license at, same one I got mine at.
Yeah, I had an automatic fail there, and she let me get away with it. Ooh. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah, that's because it's Sam Clemente, and I'm practicing your shaka. It's not all bent like Kaloe's is. But dude, I left there and I was like, this is actually the best one I've ever seen. All the kids that have come through there, all the number 1 picks that have come through there. Brian Stump can attest to this. I said to him, I go, this is the best one I've ever seen. But it's his maturity. He grew up in DC. And just stay out of trouble, stay away from everything. He picked up swimming because he wanted to like stay busy, and he became like the best swimmer in the state. And so like the painting your fingernails thing, like this is a perfect example of a dude who's like painting your fingernails would look like you're doing it for something, for other people, like to be a certain way, to look a certain way. And it's like, I actually think it's the opposite. It's no, this is how much I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. Mm-hmm. It's like I take it as like a different notch level of confidence. The physical stuff everybody can see, but I said it on the herd like week 1 or week 2 because all Colin wants to do is talk about SC, and I was like, there's a chance, we're going to have this year in this year's draft class, we're going to have 3 guys taken really high, right? Maybe 1, 2, and 3, right? Will Levis, CJ Stroud, and Bryce Young. So we're going to have 3 guys that I don't know how the draft's going to shake out, but like they could go 1, 2, and 3 and be the second, third, and fourth best players, at their position in college football, that this dude's going to play at a higher level above 3 dudes that are going to be taking 1, 2, and 3. You know what I mean? Like that rarely happens, right? And there's a kid at North Carolina who's really good, and he might be a high pick, and he might be a stud, and I love him. And then there's another kid who's really good. But this, I don't know that we've seen like 3 marquee guys in college football, and they're all jockeying for who the second best player in the country is. And the Heisman's what actually separates that. And a lot of times, because it's a voted thing, you know what I mean? Random ass guy wins it, and he doesn't pan out in the league. But yeah, I said it then. I feel it now. I think it's the best one I've ever seen.
You know who else? You know who else is a good swimmer?
Who?
Josh Allen.
Michael Phelps.
He's a good swimmer.
Unbelievable swimmer. Unbelievable. Remember we used to work out
him and Jay.
I can see him just being like, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just swimming as fast as I can until I collapse.
He eats water, like just takes up ground. Funny story about that real quick. Actually, we would do those races at J. Sarah, like on our Wednesdays. And there was one day we were doing the race, and I fucking was just trying to beat Josh so bad that my eyes were closed. And I just swam straight forehead into the concrete in the side of the fucking pool. And I had a big bump on my forehead for like 6 days. I wanted to beat him so bad. I just busted.
Yeah. And then we had pool basketball in my house. And then you split your forehead open playing on the, you still have a scar. Yeah, playing against the same people.
Yeah, pool basketball against the same people. Busted my face open, ruined your birthday party. Had to go get a plastic surgeon to sew it up same day. Yeah,
you ruined your version of my birthday party. I didn't even know you left, but yeah.
I had to drain the pool.
You ruined you and Summer's day, but
God.
But yeah, no, Caleb though, man, this is crazy. I think SC can win it all, and they got holes on defense, and the O-line, was versus an SEC front. I don't know, man. We'll see. They never blocked anybody like that before, but I just think Caleb's like he's that guy. It's crazy. I have one watching him on tape, and that Utah game, it's crazy. They lose that game. Guys, this is the whole game is like it's a highlight tape. Like outside of some bubble screens and some slants that he threw, like if he had 25 completions and like 9 of them were screens, the others were like, what?
And the other throws. The Utah kid had similar, like he had a day that day. Like
he had a day.
Ever. Yeah.
He'll be out here for draft prep. You guys are like him. He's cool as shit.
That's awesome. He looks like a interesting character. He kind of looks like a little bit more
good dude.
Trav. He looks like Trav.
He looks like another guy who would do the chill or no chill.
Okay, well, perfect.
No, he will be. Yeah.
We're gonna do
real quick on that though.
Right now,
he's
go.
He's JT
You're
Lawrence.
welcome,
He's JT Daniels and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
he's got
You're welcome,
stash and long hair.
The promo.
All right. Great job, Sam. Sam's trying to get out of this interview. So we're going to do chill or not chill right now. You've seen it before, obviously, with Trevor. Chill or not chill. You're one of the chillest dudes I've ever been around. San Clemente local, will never leave. So we're going to say some names. Nice, dude. You look like
pretty consistent nose picker and booger roller, too.
You look like Sid from Toy Story right now, as usual. Fucking ridiculous. So
me and Reese have a lot in common.
True.
All right, so you know the premise of chill or not chill. We're going to say some names, and it's just be honest. Like, you're one of the chillest dudes ever. Like, don't be nice here. If they're chill, say it. If they're not, don't say it. All right? First name, Max Brown.
Chill.
Ricky Town.
I don't have to say, like, why, right?
You don't have to. We're just going to go quick. Ricky Town.
Not chill.
Nice. That's what I thought. Cam Newton.
Chill.
Underratedly chill. Mike White.
Chiller.
The fucking boy, huh? You always used to tell me you love Mike.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson.
Wait, which Mike White?
Oh, is it a different Mike White?
Talking about the quarterback?
No. Oh, no. New York Jets Mike White. New York Jets Mike White. Not Jordan's Mike White.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike White. Quarterback. Chill.
All right.
Not chill.
Mm-hmm. Derek Carr.
Not chill.
Jordan Palmer.
Chill.
Am I not chill?
It's a good thought.
That was a half answer.
Am I not chill?
So chill.
That was a freaking lie. That was a sideways answer.
No, you're chill. You're chill. I was just trying to get you to panic, and your face is red.
Is it hot in here?
Yeah, what is that vest? What are you doing? How cold is it in California right now?
I've been sick. This is like day 6, bro. I just took my mittens
All right,
off.
last one. Kyler Murray.
I'm just gonna go not chill. Go with the consensus on that one.
Hey, this is going to be so awesome to watch that thing unpack, by the way. Him and Cliff, he's calling them out and all that. They're probably going to fire Cliff. And then who's going to want to go coach Kyler Murray? It's going to be fun to watch in the desert.
It's going to be tough. All right. Well, since you want to get off the show so bad, we're sorry to have you on here for so long. We got one last thing for you. We're going to do the 2-minute drill with you. You've told your journey at Jordan's camps a lot of times. This is one of the coolest things that you do at your camps, Jordan, is when you have all the college counselors in town. We always are together at some house, wherever they're staying, or bonfiring at night and just hanging out. And we kind of go around the circle and we all share our journeys around the quarterbacks. And I remember when we were staying at the Sano house, Sam, you told your journey. That was the first time I've heard you tell your actual journey in front of a bunch of people. And this is always how you are, which I think is so funny, is you're very reserved and you're just kind of hanging out with one of the boys and just joking around. But then when you want to get serious and talk, you will go on for like 30 minutes straight. And I remember you kind of just left it all out there on the table and told your journey so far. And that was, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. And it was an awesome moment. Joe Burrow was there. Joe was in college at the time at LSU. And
I remember Joe goes, I thought that guy was super quiet. And then he was amazing.
And this is right before Joe's huge year at LSU too. So Joe was like just whatever, And so
yeah, I like to take credit. For Joe's big season because I feel like I really prepped him for what was to come with my story.
You're great. You were open and vulnerable.
It was all you.
He loved it too.
Tell me.
But give us another example. We're 3 or 4 years later now. You've gone through a lot. We've already talked through a bunch of it. But from your point of view, I think this is super helpful for other quarterbacks and people watching the show. Like wherever you want to start. It ends right now with Carolina Panthers having a win against the Broncos and you're on bye week. Just tell us your story.
Yeah, so grew up in San Clemente, California, Dana Point, Capo Beach, that area, right by Stater Brothers. And, played a ton of sports growing up, mainly basketball, football, and baseball. Went to high school, played all 3, ended up quitting baseball after my freshman year, played receiver and linebacker my sophomore year of high school, and ended up playing quarterback towards the latter half when the senior got hurt my sophomore year. But that was kind of my transition to being the starter on the varsity team. And then my junior year, I played 2.5 games, broke my foot that 3rd game of my junior year, which is of course the year that you get to put all your tape out as a high school athlete. And so I had to do a bunch of camps. Fast forward here, I only got a minute left. I ended up making Elite 11, which is when I got a bunch of offers and ended up committing to USC. Had a great senior year, my senior year of high school, and went to USC, redshirted, had a fun time, did the whole college thing for a year, and then got to battle it out with Max Brown. And he won the job. He ended up winning the QB competition. We played 3 games, and he ended up getting benched, and I played the rest of the year. We won the Rose Bowl that next season. We ended up going to the Cotton Bowl against Ohio State, and we lost that game, but then I get drafted 3rd overall the next year. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Go to the Jets, everything happens, and then now I'm here in Carolina, loving life.
You need about 30 minutes. You're a long talker.
You were bad at condensing that into 2 minutes. You just skipped out on about 6 years at the end there, but the meat of it, right? It's like
that was probably the best 2-minute drive you guys have had this whole entire time.
Not even
right?
close. Not even close. Will Levis.
It's hard, man. I like the details. You guys know me.
You're a storyteller, man. You don't like to think of who you are.
Great storyteller.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yeah, man.
I've been letting you be easy, but we've wanted you on the show for a while. I think it's a good time. I think personally, I'm like super biased, but I'm pumped for you to be back on the field. Like people do not know, me and Sam work out together almost every day in the off season. We throw together all the time. We grind it out together like this is my guy right here. I was in Carolina before, he's in Carolina now. Like, I'm just excited to see this guy on the field, like playing and getting back to the game he loves, because I believe that your best days are ahead of you, and someone's going to take a chance on you wherever it is, and you're going to ball. Like, it doesn't work. You look at Geno Smith, it doesn't always work out right away. Like, you still have a lot of motivation and skill, and you're here to win. And I think these next couple of weeks are going to be awesome for you. And I'm just stoked to see you back on the field, man. So appreciate you coming in. You're going to be a reoccurring guest for sure. Definitely in the
this off season.
Yeah, this off season we're gonna get you back on. But thanks for joining the room, bro. Thanks for making time.
Yeah, man. And I think, know each other a long time, but outside of your parents and maybe RJ, but not even, because I watched college too. I don't know that anybody's actually literally watched every single snap of football that you played since your redshirt freshman year at USC. So I've seen every aspect of it and a lot of hearts over the years. And I've always told you this, and there's a couple guys that also I've shared this with too, but there's going to be a time and a place where all you need to do is play at the best of your ability, and you'll be in every game with a chance to make a run at the end. The dudes who actually like get up off the mat every single time and go get back at it like nothing ever happened, and believe in themselves and never lose it and never cut corners or anything, which I've never seen you cut a corner, show up 15 minutes late, bail a little early, cancel last second, never once, then that's going to be true. So I love that it started off the way that it did last week for you, and pumped to see what happens next. But thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it. A lot of love on this one. A lot of love on this episode. All right.
Appreciate you, boys. Thanks for having me on.
Well, that was pretty much how we thought it'd go, right? I mean, longer than we thought it'd go, because people who think, like I said in the beginning, people who think Sam's quiet, it's like, no.
He just gets on a run and he'll just talk. Like, there's more times where I was just sitting there and I was like, I'm loving it. Like, he just gets on the dick and he'll go.
Yeah, but the dude's the best, and he's not going to sit here and tell you how hard it's been and how much he's had to do to overcome, because he's like a shield. Like, you want to give him praise or credit, like it's going to bounce right off of him. He doesn't need it. He doesn't want it, but we can dap him up. And man, this guy's been through a lot last 5 years. Weight of his shoulders. When he got drafted, he was the youngest first round pick ever drafted. So everything that he went through at a younger age than the people who went through it before him. And so for him to continue to get up off the mat would have been very easy to throw in this year and say, screw it, I'm going to go somewhere else next year. But he rehabbed, he got back, got on the field. He's 1-0. So hopefully anybody who's still watching this has got a chance to kind of see who this guy is and how he ticks. And the idea here is he should have a couple more fans coming out of that.
Yeah, just one of my favorite people I've ever been around. He's one of my closest friends. I think he's just the epitome of overcoming adversity and being a respectful dude and understanding his role in things. And I just know, I said it to him at the end, like, I know he's going to get his shot, and I know he's going to roll when he gets it. He's already 1-0 right now. So I'm hoping, even in all the turmoil in Carolina right now, he'll be able to figure it out. So super pumped for him. That was an awesome interview. If you're still here, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribers are going up. We're at 4.5K right now. When we get to 5K, I'm giving away a jersey. So we're getting close, real close. Keep going. We're on Instagram. It's The Room with Kyle and JP. Follow us on Instagram, on Jordan Palmer's TikTok at Jordan Palmer, posting all these videos, all the shorts from here. And let us know who you want to see. We got a lot of great stuff coming up at the end. College football playoffs coming up. We got NFL playoffs here in a couple of weeks. I think the season's going to finish out great, and I'm excited for it. But we're going to wrap it up. Jordan, what are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for, my whole house is sick, man. We didn't even have Thanksgiving this year. It was a bummer. So I got a little 2-week-old baby, and I'm just thankful for being in a position to be able to, not just have to take Tylenol or NyQuil or whatever off the shelf, but I'm married to a woman who's really healthy and thinks really clean, just like your type of person you're engaged to. And so to be able to look at health from a holistic approach and being able to put good things in our body, and we're all getting better. So feel a lot of great gratitude towards that. How about you?
Man, I'm grateful just to have another opportunity on Sunday. I think, we got blown out this last Sunday in Miami, and that's when you get down early, and I didn't play well in the first half, and we finished well, but that doesn't really matter when you're down 30-0. And I'm sure you've been on teams where you're down big in games, and the best thing about losing a game is you got another opportunity next week, and to be able to go in there and flush it today and move on and start game planning for our next game. I'm just grateful for another opportunity. And, they're few and far between in the NFL, so got to take advantage of this one.